Bombing in Nigeria, American consulate, Osama Bin Laden, headlines. Did or not, we don't know. But if you ask my view, if he's on the truth, if he's fighting the enemies of Islam, I'm for him. If he's terrorizing the terrorist, if he's terrorizing America, the terrorist, biggest terrorist, I'm with him.
Right now, someone is being programmed to hate you. Not because of anything you did, not because they know you. Exact same thing might be happening to you.
I spent 6 months studying propaganda techniques, cult psychology, and the neuroscience of tribalism. And what I discovered is that the human brain has a fatal flaw, one that's been exploited for centuries to turn ordinary people into extremists. The craziest part? Once you see how it works, you'll spot it everywhere. In politics, in media, even in your own thoughts. So let me show you the formula. Act 1. The brain's fatal flaw. Your brain is a survival machine designed 200,000 years ago. And back then, survival meant one thing: stick with your tribe or die. So evolution hardwired something into your neural circuitry called coalitional instinct. Within milliseconds of meeting someone, your amygdala, your brain's threat detector, asks one question: are they with us or against us? This happens automatically, unconsciously, before rational thought even kicks in. Here's where it gets dangerous. When your brain categorizes someone as us, something beautiful happens. You extend empathy. You assume good intentions. You see them as complex, three-dimensional human beings. But when someone gets labeled them, your brain literally processes them differently. fMRI studies show reduced activity in regions associated with empathy and increased activation in areas linked to disgust. You start attributing their behavior to character flaws rather than circumstances. They become caricatures, threats, less than human. Psychologists call this infrahumanization. And once someone understands this mechanism, they can weaponize it. Act 2. The 4-step formula. Every movement that's ever manipulated masses, from historical atrocities to modern political campaigns, follows the same 4-step playbook. Step 1. Create the us. First, you need a group identity. Give people something to belong to. A label, a cause, a shared identity that makes them feel special, chosen, enlightened. We're the real Americans. We're the awakened ones. We're fighting for what's right. This activates oxytocin, the bonding hormone. People feel connection, purpose, meaning. It feels good. Step 2, define them. Now you need an enemy. And here's the key. It can't be abstract. It needs a face, a name, a group. Not inequality, but the elites. Not different values, but those people destroying our country. You take a complex world and simplify it into a battle between good and evil. And suddenly, everything makes sense. Every problem has a villain. Step 3. Emotional amplification. This is where it gets psychological. You don't convince people with logic. You inflame them with emotion. Fear, anger, disgust, righteous indignation. Show them stories, real or exaggerated, of them doing terrible things. Use the most extreme examples as if they're typical. Repeat the message until it bypasses critical thinking and becomes gut instinct. Studies show that emotional arousal literally shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational analysis. When you're angry or afraid, you don't think clearly. You react. Step 4. Isolation and reinforcement. Finally, you separate people from opposing viewpoints. Don't trust mainstream media. They're lying to you. Your family doesn't understand. They're brainwashed. Only we have the truth. You create an information bubble where the only voices people hear confirm what they already believe. And then social media algorithms do the rest, feeding them more of the same until their entire reality is shaped by this narrative. Congratulations. You just created a tribalist. Act 3. why it works so well. Here's what people don't understand. This doesn't happen because people are stupid. It happens because they're human. The people most vulnerable to this aren't idiots. They're often intelligent, caring people who feel, uncertain about the future, disconnected from community, powerless in their own lives, hungry for meaning and purpose. The us versus them framework gives them all of that instantly. It provides clarity in chaos, community in loneliness, and empowerment through collective identity. It feels like truth because it satisfies deep psychological needs. And once someone is inside that framework, confirmation bias does the rest. Every piece of evidence that supports the narrative gets noticed and remembered. Everything that contradicts it gets dismissed or explained away. You literally start seeing a different reality. Act 5. How to break free. So how do you escape this? Or prevent it in the first place? First, recognize the pattern. When you notice someone trying to make you see the world as us versus them, alarm bells should go off. Ask yourself, am I being recruited into a tribe? Is this message trying to make me hate a group of people? Second, complicate the narrative. Resist simplification. Real people are complex. Real problems have multiple causes. If someone's worldview requires you to see millions of people as purely evil or stupid, that's not wisdom. That's manipulation. Third, seek contrary perspectives. Deliberately expose yourself to thoughtful people who disagree with you. Not to debate or prove them wrong, but to understand their reasoning. You'll often find they're not monsters. They're humans with different experiences and priorities. Fourth, notice your emotional state. If a message leaves you feeling furious, terrified, or morally superior, pause. These emotions might be valid, or you might be being manipulated. Take time to calm down before deciding what you believe. Finally, remember the person, not the label. Every time you catch yourself thinking all group are negative traits, stop. Picture a specific human being from that group. Someone with hopes, fears, people who love them, a story you don't know. It's much harder to hate individuals than abstractions. Look, tribalism isn't going away. It's part of our DNA, but awareness is the antidote. Every time you resist the us versus them framework, you're reclaiming your own mind. You're choosing complexity over simplicity, nuance over rage, your own judgment over someone else's manipulation. Because here's the truth they don't want you to realize. The person on the other side, they're not your enemy. They're just another human being trying to make sense of the same chaotic world you are, and probably being fed the same manipulation techniques, just aimed at different targets. The real question is, who benefits when we're too busy fighting each other to notice who's actually pulling the strings? Think about it, like if this opened your eyes. Subscribe for more psychology of manipulation. Comment, what's one us versus them narrative you've noticed recently?